The news continues live on SNN, the Suncoast News Network, your local news leader.
Welcome back, everyone, to SNN, the Suncoast News Network Evening Edition. I'm Eric Wilson, filling in for Don Brennan. And if you're just joining us, well, welcome. Let's get right to our top stories. This just into our newsroom. Tonight, the Florida House approved a bill that would ban most abortions after 6 weeks. Legislation Governor Ron DeSantis has indicated he supports. This is video of protesters at the Capitol today. The bill would make Florida one of the most restrictive states in the country to obtain an abortion. The measure, which passes the Senate on April 3rd, now heads to DeSantis' desk for his signatures. Victims of rape, incest, and human trafficking could obtain an abortion up to 15 weeks into a pregnancy under the legislation. Speaking of abortion, a commonly used abortion drug remains on the market today after a federal appeals court refused to suspend the medication's FDA approval. Access to the medical remains uncertain, however, and the future of the drug will likely be decided by the Supreme Court. NBC's Dan Sheneman has this story.
Overnight, a federal appeals court declined to suspend FDA approval for the abortion medication, mifepristone. But while the drug will stay on the market, the appeals court left restrictions in place that prevent patients from receiving it by mail.
While mifepristone's approval remains intact, this ruling, as you said, really limits the way it can be administered. It puts in peril the FDA approval of the generic form of the drug, and it also could limit the amount of time that women can have access to it, up to 7 weeks of pregnancy instead of 10.
This latest decision blocks a ruling by a district judge in Texas that suspended FDA approval for the drug, which dates back to 2000. Critics of the medication call it dangerous, and in approving the drug, the FDA failed to protect women's health.
This is a significant victory for the doctors and medical associations we represent, and more importantly, the health and safety of women and girls.
The White House insists the issue is far from over.
We are going to continue to fight in the courts. We believe that the law is on our side, and we will prevail.
Attorney General Merrick Garland vows the Justice Department will appeal to the Supreme Court, seeking action before the ruling takes effect on Saturday. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
The Department of Justice is weighing its options following the latest ruling from a federal court on the abortion pill, mifepristone. All right, in Manatee County, Animal Welfare is taking dogs in faster than they can find homes. They currently have 98 adoptable dogs at their Palmetto Adoption Center. Because of this major influx, they are waiving adoption fees through the end of the month. If you aren't ready to adopt, they are desperately seeking forest homes.
Foster is a great chance for dogs to get in a home for a temporary period, and it helps us sort of lower our numbers here and continue to be able to provide for all the incoming stray pets.
If you choose to foster, the shelter provides all the food and supplies needed. For more information on how to foster, adopt, or volunteer, go to our website, snntv.com. Now a quick look at our Weather Authority forecast with our Chief Meteorologist, Justin Mosley.
And Eric, we're continuing to monitor the ongoing flooding here in South Florida. Looking at our radar, we're quiet here at home, but to the south and east, we're still looking at a new flood warning that is up for Broward County right over the Fort Lauderdale area. And you can see how more storms, this is adding insult to injury from what they dealt with yesterday. So there's Miami up to Lauderdale on 95, US 1 and A1A. Another line of thunderstorms coming through, dropping rainfall rates of 2-3 inches per hour. But the difference here, it's moving. It's going to be out over the ocean here before too long. But this is the area that got hit so hard with the flooding. And there's all of South Florida. Look at the bullseye right there, Lauderdale, and points to the south. And as we zoom in here, this area here saw nearly 20 inches of rain in 24 hours. So you just can't handle it. South of Fort Lauderdale, there's the inlet there at the port, and you can see down towards Dania Beach. This is where we're hearing a lot of issues there in South Florida, and it continues to pour. Okay, we'll talk more about what we can expect here along the Suncoast with our 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Sarah?
Thank you, Justin. Now, speaking of weather, Fort Lauderdale has temporarily halted all flights and roadway traffic beginning yesterday. The Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport tweeted that it will be closed due to heavy rainfall and flooding. Officials said it's expected to remain closed until at least noon today. No word yet as to if and when the roads and airport will reopen. Travelers were urged to avoid entering or leaving the airport and were encouraged to check their airlines for revised flight statuses. Multiple tornadoes, flash flood, and severe thunderstorm warnings were issued in South Florida as bad weather swept through the area for the third day in a row. Going on to back here on the Sun Coast, a Sarasota condo is on hold as police investigate a report of a job offer to a planning board member. The Sarasota Police Department has opened an investigation into activity involving the City of Sarasota Planning Board after a partner of a project being reviewed by the city offered a board member work. The revelation came during Wednesday's meeting of the panel. According to the Herald Tribune, Kevin Maloney, founder and CEO of New York-based Property Markets Group, called the initiation of a police investigation, quote, laughable, unquote, noting that the job offer came from a minority stakeholder in Quay 1 and 9 LLC, and he characterized the investigation as a delaying tactic that harms the company's development project as well as the city's reputation. Gene Matthews Boys and Girls Club will get a new $4.5 million facility. Hurricane Ian damaged 2 of the 3 buildings at a former church site that has served as the site for the Boys and Girls Club, leaving the nonprofit to operate out of its only remaining safe structure, that would be the gym. Bill Sadlow, the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Sarasota and DeSoto counties, unveiled plans to replace those damaged structures with a new 14,000 square foot, $4.5 million club. 87-year-old Matthews moved to Northport in 1972 and served both on the Sarasota County School Board and the Sarasota County Commission. Well, part 3 of our Parkinson's Awareness series, SNN's Christy Sultan tells us how an organization is helping those with Parkinson's disease deal with it.
Neuro Challenge is a foundation that offers free resources for people with Parkinson's and their caregivers.
We're able to give the Parkinson's community free programming like the one today called Building Balance, which is an exercise program. And it's so super beneficial because it's going to improve the quality of their life.
Oftentimes, balance could be a constant struggle to those with Parkinson's. Building Balance is a weekly class with the goal of preventing those with Parkinson's from falling.
That's why our balance class is so important, because it works on taking their sensory systems, whether we're taking their vision out or working on their proprioception, we're working their sensory systems to prevent as many falls as we can.
All neuro classes, including the Building Balance class, is open to caregivers as well. One caregiver, Sandy Ivers, attended the class to support her husband, who has been diagnosed with Parkinson's 12 years ago.
I try to attend as many programs, not just for him, but for both of us. Sometimes I do programming by myself that I go to, but this exercise program, I usually try to come with him so I can see what they're showing him, so that then I can help him at home do the exercises.
In Sarasota, Christy Sultan, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Thank you, Christy. Again, that was part 3 of our Parkinson's Awareness series. April is Parkinson's Awareness Month, and for more information, you can check back to our website. The Venice Shark Tooth Festival is on April 22nd and 23rd. A lot of great local musicians are performing, and you don't want to miss this. The lively lineup band has the potential to satisfy your music taste, while you can enjoy the festival, delicious food, and of course, the vendors.
A little bit of everything. So from arena rock with Maiden Kane to Funky Monkey Band, that's some classic rock and some beach music.
The Venice Shark Tooth Festival is open to the public and free. The location is Centennial Park, 200 West Venice Avenue. It's open from 10 until 8 p.m. on the 22nd of April and 10 to 5 p.m. on April 23rd. Authorities in Florida are looking for former Nickelodeon actor Drake Bell. In a Facebook post, Daytona Beach police say Bell is missing and could be in danger. He's best known for his role in the sitcom Drake and Josh. Bell was last seen Wednesday evening driving a gray BMW near a local high school. In 2021, Bell pleaded guilty to charges of attempted child endangerment and disseminating matters harmful to juveniles after a woman said she and Bell exchanged texts of a sexual nature when she was just 15 years old. Bell was sentenced to 1 year probation. Florida police are asking anyone with information, please reach out. Well, here in the Tampa Bay area, it is Swift Mania as Taylor takes over Tampa and fans line up for merch at Raymond James Stadium ahead of her arrival. Hundreds of Taylor Swift fans waited patiently to buy tour merchandise on Wednesday ahead of the Stingers' 3-concert series in Tampa. The first fans in line arrived with lawn chairs and blankets as early as 10 p.m. Tuesday evening, which was 12 hours before merchandise trucks were scheduled to open. Shortly before 5 a.m., police directed dozens of the Swift fans, known as Swifties, to go wait in their cars. Swift fans will be able to also pick up merchandise that is available for sale online at her shows today, April 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. Yeah, I truly don't see people, the Swifties, waiting in line. They were running to get that merchandise. Still ahead on the evening edition, President Trump back in Manhattan. We'll have more when we return.